Hello, divine creators. Hello, beautiful beings. We are Kemet. Thank you so much for joining us. Let us see what is up for conversation at this time. Hmm. Hmm. Divine deliverance. Hmm. And source is what we see by this is you being taken out of a situation or a space or a place which is no longer resonant for you, and you being reassigned. What an interesting word to receive. Reassigned a frequency, a space that truly aligns with you. So it is as though you are the color yellow lost in a sea of green, and now being scooped out of that sea of green and placed not necessarily in a frequency of yellow, but in a frequency which is resonant to your yellow. So yes, there'll be some yellows and maybe a few greens, blues, purples, gold, silvers, all these other colors also there, co-creating with you harmoniously, where you can shine brightly as yellow and you're not lost, you're not smothered, you're not feeling alone. There's this energy of you being um, delivered into a frequency, into co creative energies where you really belong. A reshuffling of your community, a reshuffling of your energies of it feels community, it feels safety, it feels home space. Perhaps it's work, your career space, being taken to a new work, to a new environment where you feel a lot more aligned with the people around you. You feel a lot more at ease. You feel seen. So it is you being taken, shifted, um, redirected to a reassigned to a different frequency of beings where you co-create in harmony, where you are seen, where you are recognized, where you feel celebrated, where you feel loved, where you feel safe, where you feel secure. And we feel the reason why Source perhaps uses the word reassigned is when you came to this earth frequency to begin, you came and you being in this frequency, you were healing certain energies from your grid. You wanted to experience how your source, how your soul looks like in this physical realm. Yet this physical realm was in such a density, and there were frequencies here which were freely roaming, which were of low energy, pulling the energies down, which were blocks, limitations, hindrances to you being in your full energy. So you had to first take on those energies, heal them, transmute them, clear them from your grid before you could then access and anchor your energy to be you. And in so doing, you were assigned or rather, you were designated to a group of beings you were born into, or who raised you, or who found you, or who took you in, however you began your earth journey. And those energies were the energies you needed to heal, to clear. You began exactly where you needed to clear those energies. So it was almost as though, okay, if you want to go to Earth to then be the truth of you, then you need to be assigned to that group of people, because then you'll be able to take on whatever they are working with, and you'll be able to then make it your own life mission. It will not work with you. You'll release it, transmute it. That's being able to anchor in your own frequencies. And now that you are in Source, as Source, within Source, you are being assigned or aligned to other frequencies which are Source. And because you are still healing in a way, we are still all of us awakening, releasing more and more and more energies that prevent us from being. And it's a lot more it's less these big global frequencies. It's a lot more intimate. It's a lot more personal. It's more you allowing yourself to be. It's more you expressing yourself freely. It's more you setting boundaries. It's a lot more. It's not so big. These big moving energies of other people's experiences and you transmuting, you know, almost these global energies. It's a lot more intricate. It's a lot more personal. It's nuanced. It's subtle energies you are now working with, you are now healing, you're now shifting, you are now assisting to transmute. And so those energies mostly are less about others and more about you personally. And so, you now being surrounded by those who are at Source, encouraging each other to be Source, embracing the Source nature you are, and celebrating the Source natures you are, allows you even a closer look, a more closer personal look at yourself to see where you deny yourself, where you disallow yourself being. And we actually can think of a time when this was very useful for us, when we had shifted, when Lasala, our past self, had shifted from their birth home to beautiful Cape Town, when they were studying here. Immediately, he gravitated towards people who were free and open, for that's what he wanted. He wanted absolute freedom. Um, the first night he spent in Cape Town, it was in residence, one of the residences, and one of the best choices ever he had made was to choose that res. That was such a beautiful space, and he met such incredible people. And the very, very first, a residence or a dormitory, we do not know how you all maybe call it, and when, or school housing, student housing, and when the first night he spent there, we remember it very well. He sat on his bed and he said, okay, here I am free, I am gay, I am free, I'm gay, I'm proud, and I'm open, and I'm going to meet people there, and if they don't like that, then I don't care. I'm no longer going to hide, I'm no longer going to be afraid, and if I don't meet people who just like me who I am, I'm not interested in them. I'm not going to please anyone. And it was very interesting. He just remembers just that first day clearing everything. And it was very organic. Obviously, it was part of our energy coming through to clear the old and embrace the new and anchor in the new. But we were just thinking this is just time, in that way, in that sense, time to clear these energies. Anyway, the group of beings he then met, we are still very honored and blessed that we're still connected to some of them today, that our journey has aligned with some of those beautiful beings to still be with us at this time. We're actually going to meet one of them today, and he was the one who was my neighbor, my very first neighbor, on the very first day of Res. Yes, and we've been very, very, very good friends. He's a brother to me now. To us. Very beautiful being. Anyway, so the people we met there, he met there, he could see how free they were. He could see how, yes, they all had their own issues. There was one common thing our group had. We all had family issues, especially from the male dominant side, but generally, just parental energies. Anyway, the ones who I really became incredibly close with. It was interesting. But the one thing he did notice was that everyone around him was free, and They wanted him to be free. They liked him. They genuinely liked who he was. They genuinely appreciated who he was, and they genuinely wanted to get to know who he was, which was very, very different for him. He had never experienced people who actually wanted to know who he was to that capacity, to a deep capacity where there wasn't judgment, where there wasn't, oh, I want to know who you are, but also remember you have to now be this person. So there weren't any rules, there weren't any regulations. Didn't have to, he didn't have to tailor who he was or cater for other people or make himself palatable. They were encouraging him to be they were encouraging him to be completely fully open, and they really just wanted to know all that he was. And that created a whole shift, for now he was able to release the being he became from his birth space, and rather be who he just start discovering who he was, who he was without any of the parameters of his upbringing and the society of that birthplace. And that feels like it's a similar shift now, where wherever you have been, even now, through the cocooning, these energies have been beautiful and wonderful and healing and powerful, and have been assisting all of us to really, hone in our frequency and to become more than ever before who we truly are. And now it seems there's a shift, a realigning, a reassigning of, okay, well, now that you are source, you need those energies who are also in source, who are also aligning to their source frequency in different ways than you. However, how they be and how you are to be with them and how you are to them, you also encourage source to be at all times. Thus, you will be an inspiration to them, they'll be an inspiration to you. And because you are now all allowing yourselves this new frequency of being, this awakened source energy of being, and it's the energy that's now amplified, the energy you are now working in, the energy that you're now co-creating in, you'll be able to see even more where you perhaps hold yourself back, because they'll be like, but then why are you holding yourself back? Of course, go for it all. But of course you know the truth. Of course it's your truth. You're just getting all these affirmations and source that you didn't need them. In the cocooning, you couldn't have those validations and affirmations and confirmations, because you had to choose yourself. It had to be a path that you chose yourself without any external influence. You're alone in the cocoon. The caterpillar is alone in the cocoon. It's not influenced by other butterflies, how it should be, what colors, what wings, how it should fly. It is alone in the cocoon to become its own solo butterfly, and then co-create with other butterflies, encouraging it to fly higher and higher than ever before. And this is where you are being shifted to as a collective who are awakening as source. Okay, when we channel these energies, we channel for the collective who are awakening within source. We are not speaking of the collectives who are still in the illusion or who operate within the illusion. They are on a different frequency bandwidth. So when we speak of collective energies, we're speaking of those who are awakening, us who are within the source frequencies. Should we reference the illusion collective, we will then, of course, reference them so that there's no confusion, okay? Because sometimes when you say collective energies coming through, you might think everyone, not everyone, is open to these energies already for them. So when we speak of collective, it is us who are source frequency beings, awakening, stepping into source power, because we're on a different channel completely than everyone else who is still anchoring from fear or the absence of self. So it feels like it is an organic shift. Either you literally, as we mentioned before, moving jobs, moving places, relocating, changing environments, or all of a sudden you bumping into people who you align with in your current space. So maybe in these spaces you like going to, the parks, the wherever maybe you go for your yoga, or if you do, beach walks, or where you volunteer, or wherever it might be where you are, all of a sudden somebody new there, or you're just gravitating to a new group of people who you've always seen but you've never really felt aligned to, or all of a sudden it's same place, same people, but all of the different people from the different groups. You can imagine maybe there are 5 different groups who generally hang around, but then individual 5 individual people from those groups all of a sudden create their own new group because those 5 have awakened or are on this journey. So, or you bump into the person when you are shopping, or in a queue. It is going to happen very organically, where you are finding yourself finally realigning to a sacred ecosystem where the environment around you is resonant and is celebratory and is supporting of you, to allow you to anchor in and to be within your source frequency more and more and more. The It is assisting with the weaning and the releasing of the cocoon period for you to truly embrace the butterfly frequency you are. And Source says, finally, you have all crystallized into your source frequencies, that you don't need somebody else to, you don't need somebody else to be as you be. You don't require anyone to do the work as you do the work. You don't require anyone to awaken as you awaken, the same path. We have really been enjoying just bumping into beings, some of our past energy, who have also tapped into their spiritual frequencies, and just hearing how they are awakening, how they receive codes, how they are um, healing, and how they are experiencing source. It's fascinating, very different, and we can feel on different wavelengths, different frequencies, different trajectories. And in the past, we can feel where maybe we would have wanted to, oh, but this could help, or this or this. We can just now observe and listen and witness, and even if you feel, oh, that's an interesting way of going about it, it's still, we don't have to, there's no judgment, it's just an interesting way of going about it in our own way, because it's fascinating. Um, and it's no longer it's not that it's a judgment, but it's no longer that urgency of trying to, or right or wrong, that right or wrong, or a right way and a wrong way, that's all really dissolved in all of us who are connected to this frequency, to this way. And so to now be able to be around those who are also creating a source frequency, and we do not influence each other in a, oh, but do it this way rather, or do it that way rather, that's not there. It's more just celebrating each other and just being and experiencing each other. Just as should you meet a romantic partner, it is not a, hey, you have to do it this way, hey, you have to do it that way. It's okay, you are source, find your path to source and be source, and we can then explore and experience the source you are. And that's now happening in other relationships or in other environments or co-creative spaces. If it's not necessarily relationships, it is the actual environment, the actual work environment, or the actual space, maybe again a place of meditation, or relaxation, or volunteering. It's just that the actual environment is also now a space where you feel a lot more open to be you, a lot more source, and the co-creative beings embrace you and celebrate who you are. So it's a shift from the energies pulling you down and saying there's something wrong to energies uplifting you and saying, oh, everything is right about you, you know? And you don't, because of the cocooning, you don't require or need external validation to be source, which was really important that you chose source for you, not because, yay, 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 do that, but rather you are, no, this doesn't feel right, this feels right, I choose what feels right for myself, for ourselves. Now that you're there and crystallized there, now that you've become the butterfly, you can now be surrounded by environments that appreciate you. And that's a deeper look into perhaps where you even deny yourself, because the more you feel the appreciation, the celebration, and the more you then can see, ooh, okay, well, they really are happy. I can see that it's me. I hold myself back here then because they're all saying it's a good thing, but and it feels like a good thing, but okay, I can see my insecurity there. Okay, I can see where I'm self-sabotaging. Okay, I can see where I'm holding myself back. Okay, I can see where maybe I'm not really allowing myself more love there or more gentility there, and it's subtle energies. It's nuanced. It's um, just just that little dust. There we go. There we go. And then also just for general, not always for lesson, just for general happiness and well-being. And you deserve it. You deserve to be around beings who finally see you in the divine, beautiful love and power you are. Blessed be.